Welcome back for another edition of Strengthening Oklahoma. This edition of Strengthening Oklahoma is brought to you by The Winston in Norman. The Winston, it's got great food, better drinks, and the best patio in Norman. Visit thewinston.com to see their menu or order online. Wrap up this week, a bye week for the Sooners to get right, get healthy, coming off a nice 52-42 win of the Kansas Jayhawks. And to help us recap that, and look forward to Iowa State. Welcome to the show, defensive tackle, Mr. Jalen Redmond. Jalen, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you guys?
Man, it's the grind of the college football season. We don't have to tell you. We're doing well. How are you doing, man? Was it nice to get the bye to come whenever it did? Good to get your body and your mind right?
It was, after what 6 games, 7 games, or whatever. It takes, you guys know it takes a toll, and that break is very well needed. So it came at the right time, not too early and not too late.
So one of the things going back to before the season, when we were talking to you on here, one of your main things was like, hey, I want to stay healthy, right? I just want to play a full season. Yeah. Are you healthy? You feeling good? Like, I know the bye's at the right time, but how are you feeling overall?
Overall, I'm feeling good. Obviously everybody got little nicks and bangs, but nothing serious at all. So thank God for that. And just, feeling good, man. I don't think I made it this far in a season without something coming up or missing a game. But it feels good, man. I'm happy. Everything looking good.
We're happy for you. Just knock on some wood real quick. All right.
Yeah.
Just after making that statement, just knock on some wood. Let's keep it 6 more games, because 5 more games in the regular season and clearly some postseason play. We hope as well. Just before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of it, how good did it feel just to get a win, man, to have some positivity after a game? That 3-game slide had to drag you guys down. How good did it feel to get a win on Saturday against Kansas?
Oh man, it felt good, man. Like you said, that 3-game losing thing streak we was on, it was tough. Never felt anything like this since I've been here. Never been through it. So it was different for a lot of people. It was hard to handle. We like, dang, we had practice and we got 3 losses right now. Like it sucked. But after getting that win, against a pretty good Kansas team, it felt good, man. It felt like we kind of getting back into it and getting back to that rhythm. So now we just got to keep it going.
So one of the discussions kind of going on here locally before that game was, what's the crowd going to look like? How are they going to act? You guys were wearing the anthracite jerseys. You threw that on top of it. There was a lot of discussion, man, but the fans showed out, right? Like that was another sellout, great atmosphere, right? That had to feel good for you and for the rest of the players, right? Because you were on that 3-game skid, but the fans still showed up and supported you.
Yeah, and they did. And man, we were very appreciative of that. And you can tell, funny thing, I was on looking through my social media, and before the game, not before that on the game day, but during that week, and all you see is like people selling the tickets to the Kansas game. I'm like, dang, like everybody's selling, all these students selling their student tickets, and everybody like just asking for prices or whatever. It's crazy. It was crazy. So I was like, man, this game might not probably won't be that packed. And with the black jerseys, as you said, like I don't know how they gonna handle that. 3 losses, black jerseys, and it was just, I felt like it was a lot going on, but they did it, and I felt like everything was handled well. The fans showed up and showed out.
And you guys got a win, which was needed for everybody. You hit the bye week, feeling better about yourself. Still things to work on and get right, but feeling better about yourself. What I feel better about, some more 4-man front, man. Gabe and I have talked about it the last couple of weeks. Yeah. We wanted to see more of it the last time we talked to you. Felt like you wanted to play in more of it. You guys were able to get to a few more edges, 8 tackles for loss of defense. How good did it feel to get more in the traditional 4-man front, which I know suits your game the best?
Yeah, man, it felt good. I tell you that, it felt good other than taking on triple teams the whole game or multiple double teams. I finally got a couple one-on-ones here and there. And it felt good. I know the guys up front was happy about it in the DT room. So, that's all we've been talking about, ready to go back to and hopefully get back to. So hopefully we stay in it. We just got to keep working, and I hope they don't switch anything around.
Yeah. Now you look at it, you look at what Venables has done historically when it comes to calling defense. You want to be able to do a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah.
The word everyone uses is multiple, but I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying, man, hey, for the DTs, we like to play a gap. We like to be able to come off the ball a little more, get a little stagger in that stance. I don't think there's anything wrong with you saying that, bro.
No, it's not. But you know, that's the head man. What he say, that goes. Like I said, but I'm just happy he put it back in, and obviously, we're probably still gonna run some of that 3-man front, which is no problem. But yeah, we was happy just to have it in. We was happy when they told us that.
No question. Morale, the defense. How are you guys doing as you hit the bye week? Because it was a win. You still give up 42 points. There were some things that look better, more penetration, more negative plays created, weren't as many free runners and what felt like busts in coverage. But overall, where's the morale? Where's the mindset of this defense right now?
I think the mindset is in a good place. Even though it's a bye week, we still practice hard. We had a good hard practice yesterday, and I think everybody's mind right. We're ready for the next game, but we're gonna take this time and rest our bodies and get ready mentally wise too, not only physically. So I feel like everybody's in a good headspace with it. The game plan's right.
So, when it comes to the leadership on the defense, and we've talked to you about, hey, you're not the most vocal guy. You like to lead by example. Have you seen more guys with the struggles defensively here lately? Have you seen more guys trying to step up and be vocal leaders and just trying to, create some positivity and create a fun environment almost with all the negativity you guys have been hearing?
Yeah, I do. But like I said in the beginning, I think you asked me this a while ago too. We have defense. We have a few, like a lot of leaders. Even the young guys try to step up and say something, and that's just how it is. That's how they kind of wanted and made it. Anybody can, really be a leader on this team. So even whatever you've done or haven't done, speak up. We all listening, so we all respect each other, and I think we keep it at that.
No question. Bye week. Fundamentals, scheme. What's been the focus this week for you guys as a defense?
A little both, really. I think it's more fundamentals this week. I know it is for with the DTs group. During we practice, we getting a lot more of a lot more indie than we do like if we had a game this week. So I think I'll say fundamental wise, they really harping on it.
And for you, what have you really tried to focus in on and get better? Is it your step? Is it your hands? Is it your eyes? Like what have you tried to say? You know what? Looking back at these first 7, I really want to get better in this area. These final 5 games.
I've really been on myself about my eyes and number one, my pad level. I've been playing high a lot, and it's showing and it's on film. So trying to get that off, trying to knock that off. But so that's what I've been harping on for this week.
Now you mentioned the extra individual time, and it's a good thing, right? Because you can focus on your fundamentals, you can get more work with Coach Bates, but that individual, bro, it can when that period gets extended, it can be a little taxing, huh?
Hey, oh my goodness! Yesterday I was exhausted. The indie period was just it was hard. It was pressure. I'll leave it at that. I looked at Jeffrey Johnson. It was like towards the middle of it or a little bit towards the end. I looked at him. I said, "Am I the only one tired? Or you tired too?" He's like, "No, man, I'm tired." I was like, "All right, I'm just making sure I ain't the only one. Like feeling like I'm about to pass out right now." But yeah, it was. But it was good. It was some good work. We got a lot of stuff done that we haven't done in a while.
And then obviously Iowa State. I mean, that's the next opponent. That's next week. How much you guys starting to look at the film, start to put together a game plan? And if you have looked at the film, what do you see from the Cyclones?
Um, well, the game plan, they put that in, and they starting to put that in early, so we'll have a heads up on it, when we get back. And what we see, they're a good team. They're a pretty darn good team, as they always are, and they play hard, which everybody do when they play Oklahoma. Everybody want to play their best game against us. And other than that, yeah, but they look good on film. They got the running backs look good. So I think we stopped the run. I like they kind of pass a lot, so the cutoff for their pass thing is kind of early this week. So I like that a little more rushing going on. But yeah, that's about it, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of where you excel is in that pass rush. Now, people may see Iowa State's record like, hey, they haven't won a game in the Big 12 yet. They're 0-4, and their 4 losses are by I believe it's 14 combined points.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they've been in a lot of games and probably should have beat Texas last week. So it's been a weird year for them. Now, looking at their offensive line, they got a couple interior guys that played a lot of ball for them, been around for a long time. When you're preparing to play against guys you've played before, how much do you look back to the past and see, okay, this worked against them, this didn't? Like, is that something you do, or do you mainly focus on watching the stuff you've seen from them this year?
Honestly, y'all, I don't go back in the past. That's past. But I watched a lot of what they do this year, because everybody changed. I know I played different than I did when I played 2 years ago when I played them. I didn't even get to play them last year. So I know I play different. Everybody changes through the years. So I want to see what they're doing this year, like how he gonna block this, or things like this. So I look at this year.
As far as this week goes, obviously practice, get better fundamentals, game plan, get ready for Iowa State. You guys also had, I believe it was Tuesday, you had a service day. Saw some of the video, saw some of the pictures. What was that like? What was that experience like for you guys?
Actually, I didn't get to go to the service day. I have a class during the time that
Oh,
I didn't even get. Yeah, man, I had a class, a 2-hour class during the time that they're there. So I didn't even get to do it.
That's terrible.
So you went to school.
Animal. Yeah, I was in class, man. I was in class.
Hey, it's part of it, man. You got to do what you got to do, right, to get that degree. Now, one of you're putting in work in the bye weekend, right? But one of the best parts about it, you get a little breather on the weekend, right? You get a few days off here, Friday and Saturday. What's the plan, man? Are you staying in Norman, just sitting on the couch? You go back home? Like what's the plan?
That's what I usually do, but I'm only 30 minutes from Norman, so I don't go home much because I can go whenever I feel like it. So I'm gonna go to Dallas and hang out with my son. Probably take him to the Dallas Zoo or something. I had never been, so I want to see it. And
okay, I have been.
And
I don't know about you, Dusty, but I was a little underwhelmed by the Dallas Zoo.
Underwhelmed?
It's a little tight. It's a little. I mean, there's a bunch of tight spaces, a lot of people. I'm an OKC zoo guy. I'm gonna be straight up.
Oh, so you like the zoo here more than the one in Dallas?
Listen, Dusty's been a dad a lot longer than I have. He's probably better qualified for this conversation.
I've been to many zoos. I've been to the Oklahoma City Zoo a bunch. We used to have a pass. Okay, 3 kids will get you there. I'm also a Dallas Metro kid. I've been to the Dallas Zoo. The one you want to check out now, it's on the other side of the Metro, the Fort Worth Zoo.
There you go.
Now that's a game changer. I will say this though. The Dallas Zoo is much better than Gabe is making it sound. But if I'm comparing the metropolitan zoos, Fort Worth does trump Dallas.
Fort Worth, okay.
Full disclosure, the day we went and I took my son, it was there had to be some type of special on like field trips for kids that day. Yeah. There were a gazillion children there. It was very packed in. None of the animals, when you go to the zoo and you're hoping, all the animals are going to be out, they're going to be fun. No, they were all couldn't see anything, man. So I'm a little biased just because I don't think I had the best experience, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And the last point is you're gonna be with your son, man. It don't matter where you go, what you
Right.
do. As long as you're with your guy, man, that's all that matters. That's really cool. Hope you guys have an awesome day at whichever zoo or whatever you decide to do. The fact is that you get a chance to spend some time with him. That's absolutely awesome. All right, let's get some fan questions in here before we get you out of here. Fan questions brought to you by Love's Travel Stops. Visit loves.com for more information on the nation's leading travel stop network that's headquartered right here in the great state of Oklahoma. We've been asking this question to the guys the last week or so we'll continue with you. Mike L wants to know, are you watching any good TV shows right now? If so, what are you watching, Jalen?
Ooh, that's good. All right. Well, I'm watching one right now. I'm watching 911. Everybody should watch it. It's pretty good. It's on
What's
Hulu.
it on?
Hulu.
Okay. Give us the short, description of what's going on in this.
I got you. So basically it's about all about the first responders. So firefighters, police officer, all that. And just a bunch of stuff happens and you see them, what they go through. Apparently I heard that some of it is from like true events that has happened. So like it's crazy. You got to watch it. It's a lot goes on. It's insane.
Okay.
And it'll make you cry. I ain't gonna tell
I'm
nobody.
a crier. Hey, I'll cry.
Hey,
I love a good cry.
It's gonna make you tear up. I don't know if the kid made me soft or what, but it's gonna have a tear running down your eye a couple of episodes.
That's a great point. Once you have a kid and you start seeing situations and shows where like something happens to a kid or like they're like, you're 100% spot on. You cry at kid stuff that you used to not cry about. That is 100% accurate.
Yep, it's crazy, man. But everybody should watch it. It's 911. Type that in.
Okay. We need to just don't pick up your phone and call the number. You know?
Yeah, don't call them.
Yeah. Okay, here's the last question. We'll let you get out of here, man. It comes from Denise S. She asks, what would you say is your biggest interest outside of football?
My biggest interest.
That's good.
Man, that is good. So outside of football, I really don't have anything other than a lot of people that knows me know I played basketball before I did football. So my interest outside of football, I do some with that. I like basketball. I watch it. Sometimes I used to play it when we wasn't in the season, play pickup and stuff. But that's what I do. That's what I enjoy doing in the.
What's the game looking like? Like what are we? Are we floating on the perimeter? Are we? Because I know people look at you and they're probably like, oh, that guy's playing on the block. No, I know I can just tell a little more finesse in the basketball game than people may think.
It was all of it, man. When I played, I was only like 215, so I put a lot of weight on, but I was everywhere. I played a little bit. I played post. I could play on the outside. I couldn't shoot that well, but you couldn't stop me from driving in the lane. So
I imagine kind of like a Zion Williamson type situation now for you.
Yeah, I can definitely jump and all that. It's crazy.
Duncan? I mean, can you throw it down?
Yeah.
I said, oh yeah. Like no, Brian.
You straight up just offended him, Dusty.
Yeah, I know he kind of did, Gabe.
Hey man, sorry. Hey man, my bad. So are you I don't know if you realize this, but Gabe is like Mr. Oklahoma City Thunder. Are you a big Thunder fan?
No, I'm not. It's crazy. I'm actually just a LeBron fan. So
I'm one of those. No.
Gabe, I'm sorry. I'm one of those.
Bro, you're an Oklahoma City guy.
All right, kill the feed. This interview's officially over. Hey, sorry, you got to go.
Hey, okay. Along those lines then. Lakers, bro. I mean,
like rough the other night, homie. Rough.
That ain't it.
They made Westbrook look good. I can't stand Westbrook. He's terrible to me. I don't know what's going on. LeBron's getting old.
He hates the Thunder. He's a Westbrook hater. Oh my gosh, he loves LeBron. What are you doing, man?
Hey, I know. Hey, that's just good. That's good ball right there. And that he plays good ball.
Next, he's going to tell us he loves Kevin Durant and Draymond Green is a good dude. I mean, like those are the next things coming out of his mouth, and he's going to have everybody.
Beverly guy.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't like Pat Bev, but now he's with the Lakers.
Don't say. I'm gonna stop you. Do not tell the people that you like Pat Beverly. Keep that to yourself.
I like Pat Bev. His energy is crazy. His defense, I love it. I love it.
Oh God. Irreparable damage has been done.
I want to see some of that Pat Bev agitation, some of that Pat Bev defense next week in Ames, Iowa. Jalen, always a pleasure, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you guys, man.
Great to chat with Jalen, and now it's time for me and my man Gabe to break it down. All right, the breakdown brought to you by the Oklahoma Proton Center. It's one of the top cancer centers in the region using state-of-the-art proton therapy. Oklahoma Proton Center, more than a cure, quality of life. Great to chat with our man Jalen Redmond there. Two things stand out to me. So glad he's healthy. The dude has not been able to catch a break throughout his career for a variety of different reasons. Injuries, blood clots, like it's just been COVID. I mean, it's been all kinds of stuff that's been an issue. So I'm glad that he's been healthy and been available. That's great. And then number two, thank goodness we saw more four-man front. We talked about this on Monday. I think we touched on it Wednesday. But now we got a defensive lineman. Like at some point, I get that you may major more in three-man. But the way this roster and this defensive line is comprised, you don't have the bodies, man. The body types. And like sometimes you do have to play to your strengths and play to your players' strengths and put them in position to succeed. Now, I know there's still going to be a variation. There's going to be a change up multiple, as you used in the interview. It's a perfect way to phrase it. But majoring in a four-man front currently, I think, is the best course of action. And you can tell he's glad to see that. And I think that most people watching were glad to see that against Kansas on Saturday.
Yeah, and I think it's a tough balance for Brent Venables and Ted Roof because on one hand, you look at what a lot of teams in college football are doing with the three-man front and having a ton of success. You want to build that foundation, right? Moving forward that, hey, we can play this against anything, and you kind of just have to take your lumps in it, right? So there's that thought, and then I completely agree. You look at the body types they've got, the four-man front's the best option. So how do you establish the foundation of the three-man front moving forward, but also put the guys you currently have on your roster in the best position to succeed along the defensive line? Like that's a tough balance, but I was really glad to see more four-man front against Kansas. And I think you can tell just from Jalen talking about like the players like the four-man front. And I haven't played defensive line in a really long time, but the three-man front can be really, really effective. There's no doubt about it. But I bet if you talk to every defensive lineman in America, they'd rather get some more stagger in their stance and blow off the football in a four-man front. Like I think that's only natural, right?
And get to an edge.
Yeah.
Like give yourself the best opportunity to have success. Like, yes, they would. And you have a chance to be more productive. And it's just more, it can be more fun. Now, again, there's things about the three-man front where you can still have a lot of success. Like, I don't want to act like you can't. And they're doing it at Clemson as a variation. They're doing it all over the place. In Ames, Iowa next week, you're going to see Iowa State. Now, when they go to some pass rush, they'll get into some four-man. I got Texas this week, so I watched that whole film. And they want to get Will McDonald more on an edge, get him outside. But for the most part, they are a three-down front, and they get after it. They play excellent defense. They were shutting down Bijan Robinson, the Texas rushing attack, for a large part of that game. As the game went on, Texas offensive line started settling in a little bit, started getting some runs, were able to have some success. They ran for just under 200 yards, I believe. But to me right now, Iowa State's probably the best defense I've seen in the league on tape, and it's all three-man. So it's like you can't sit here and I don't like it when people over complain and be like, oh, you can't play that kind of defense. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You have to have the right body types. You have to have the right guys bought in and executing what you're asking, it is possible to thrive and succeed with that style of play. But again, it is a balancing act right now. And I don't think that you should just completely stick with a 4-man front. I think you still want to teach the principles, teach the techniques, and lay the foundation of what you also want to do. But even at Clemson, when Coach V was there, it was a mix and match. Like, he wasn't, one week they may major in 3-man, the next week they may major in 4-man. And it's part of what made them such a difficult defense to deal with. You didn't know exactly what you were going to get one week to the next, one series to the next. And when you can acquire the personnel and be able to execute both of those seamlessly, that's when you can really take that next step and play like elite defense. But right now, it does feel like this front in particular is having more success when they go more 4-down looks.
I completely agree. That's how it appears. Now, you hope, like you mentioned, that as you move forward, you're great in both.
Yes.
Right. And that's what really can make you a dangerous defense. But yeah, I know a lot of people are out there going, why are we doing any of the 3-man front stuff? We're not good at it. It doesn't work. You mentioned Iowa State. I think Kansas State's right there also.
Sure. Yes.
As in the conversation for best defense of the conference. They both play the 3-3-5 and line up in 3-man fronts. So you can play really good defense in that structure, but it all starts up front, man. And the thing you see from those two defenses that you haven't seen from Oklahoma really when they've lined up in that 3-man front recently is just violence at the line of scrimmage.
100%.
I mean, you watch Iowa State's defensive line, man. Dude. It is like a bar fight.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly right.
And that comes with understanding the structure of defense. It comes with time. It comes with reps. It comes with like understanding how you have to play in that structure of defense. And those guys for Iowa State, they've been doing it the whole time they've been there, right? I mean, they've been in Haycock's system the whole time, and they've learned it. It takes time. So I think we're going to see a lot of 3-man front moving forward. Just kind of takes a little time for the defensive line to learn it, to master it. Like, it just doesn't happen overnight. And maybe it was a little naive of us to assume that just because Brent Venables is the best defensive coordinator in college football over the last couple of decades, that he was just going to be able to make every single guy good that quickly. But I still think this is the best way to describe how I feel about it. I trust what Brent Venables thinks is best on a week in and week out basis defensively. I trust what he thinks is the best way to go win football games on the defensive side of the football. And really that's just where I'm at with it.
I agree. And I think that he recognized we need to do a little more 4-down. Was that because Kansas specific? Was that recognition of what we've talked about? Suit your personnel a little bit better. We'll see moving forward. I think we're still going to see both, but I'll be honest, like, I would prefer to see, with this current roster, a little bit more 4-down line predominant. We'll see exactly what that looks like in Ames, Iowa next week. The D-line's got to be more disruptive. I still don't see enough pressure on the quarterback. That's the entire front 4, front 3, whatever you want to say. I want to see more disruption. I want to see better, consistent pass rushing. I haven't seen that enough. Guys just, not beating a man in one-on-one situations. That needs to continue to improve. And the overall defense just needs to improve week in, week out. Like, you've got 5 weeks left. It should be a great opportunity against an Iowa State offense that has taken a little bit of a step back this year to get yourself feeling good. Now, just like this Oklahoma defense is looking at this bye week as a way to improve, same can be said for Iowa State and their offense. If you think that Matt Campbell isn't looking at this and challenging his offense, and they're trying to find ways that they can get better during this bye week, you're crazy. And Hunter Deckers has done a decent job this year, taking over as a starting quarterback, and Xavier Hutchinson. I still don't know how he dropped that pass last week at the end of the Texas game, but he did. So as they look at themselves and they do a self-reflection.
You broke down the film.
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to understand how good of a football team. And I know
They're
people
good.
I know people don't like to hear it, but Iowa State's pretty close to being pretty good.
Yeah. You kidding me?
They should have beat Texas, right? I'm not crazy saying that. I mean, maybe Texas goes down and scores and wins the game there with 2.5, but they should have had a lead with 2.5 minutes to go in the game in Austin.
Minimum tie ball game. Minimum tie ball game. And again, this is all part of football. They've got the ball 7-0 going into score to go up 2 scores, and they throw a pick. Jalen Ford gets an interception. So like there's a lot of things in that game. And then again, at the end of the game, Hutchinson drops a pass. Then Hunter Deckers fumbles a football. Like they made mistakes. Give Texas credit. They made the plays they had to win. But yeah, Iowa State let that game slip through their hands. Against Kansas, they missed 3 field goals and one doinked off the upright. Okay. They lost to K-State. Was it 9-10, 11-10, whatever it was. I mean, it was a 1-point game.
10-9.
10-9. Thank you. I mean, it was insane. So don't let the 0-4 Big 12 record fool you. And remember how Oklahoma was feeling, losing 3 straight, hadn't won a Big 12 game. They had to have a win. Iowa State's in that spot now. So nothing going to be easy about any of the games left on the schedule. There will be nothing easy whatsoever about going to Ames next week and trying to get a victory. But the defensive line can help things defensively by being more disruptive, continuing to improve, and hopefully we continue to see strides in the right direction on the defensive side of the football. Thanks to Muse Growth Strategies for continuing to help us spread the word about strengthening Oklahoma. Reminder to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast. We're growing, man. Let's keep matching that subscribe button. Tell your partners, tell your boys, your family, your friends. They need to get down and be a part of what we're doing right here at Strengthening Oklahoma.
One important thing, please, we got a lot of people watching these videos now. Please subscribe, because if you subscribe and we get past a certain threshold, then we can monetize the YouTube channel and we can get these athletes more money, right? For the interviews that they're doing. So please subscribe if you're watching these videos.
Yeah, well said by you. Also, don't forget, speaking of monetize, you can contribute monetarily on the strengtheningok.com website. We appreciate all of our subscribers, all the people that are subscribing, checking out what we're doing right here at Strengthening Oklahoma. Have a great weekend. It's a bye week for Sooner Nation. You can sit back, relax, enjoy some football, and live stress-free. And we'll see you again next week, right here on Strengthening Oklahoma.